It's election time, another opportunity when Nigerians go to the poll to elect those who would pilot the state affairs. In some polling units, such as the Muslim Community Secondary School and Walker's Village, polling activities were peaceful, but with other attendant encumbrances. Very early in the morning, residents of Lokoja trooped out in their numbers to the Crowther Memorial College to cast their votes for their preferred candidate. Now, hours after accreditation and voting, armed men stormed into this unit, and what you have behind me is the aftermath activities. Even security operatives who were on ground were said to have run away for their lives.
They just entered into the compound here and started to shooting to the air, and they were even shooting canisters of tear gas.
Who are these people carrying out this shooting?
We don't know them. They are in fake police uniforms. But some of them covered their faces with masks. Then everybody was running helter-skelter for his or her life. Suddenly, those who were carrying out the operation went to the polling units, carried the ballot boxes, and carried even some luggage of the polling staff, the ad hoc staff. They took them away. Even the policemen too ran for their lives, because I don't blame them, because they were not armed.
Here at the Lokoja Club, the story is the same. We could only capture the leftovers and materials scattered round, as electorate, INEC officials and security operatives have deserted the center. This worrisome situation is also being questioned by election observer groups, as reports coming in are not so pleasant.
We're even more worried by the fact that this violence occurred in the presence of security agencies who ought to have acted differently, either to forestall or to reprimand those who have seen perpetrating violence. I was in that same venue that you talked about. Probably the escalation will have occurred immediately after we left. It was the first place where I personally observed vote buying, where people were given tickets.
What venue was that, sir?
The Crowther Memorial School, where people were given tickets, and they were supposed to be presenting after voting, were expected to present their ticket to a different person who will in turn give them some cash. And in my engagement and interview of some of the voters, they made different kinds of arguments. Oh, we were promised 6,000, and then eventually it became 4,000. And then from 4,000 now, they are promising 2,000, and we have not received the money and all that. So, and that created a whole huge conflagration within that moment. And I knew some plainclothes policemen reacted, but probably after we left, the whole place also got escalated. But that's totally unacceptable.
We've also mentioned the attack on our own observers as well, particularly in Nanyigba. These are very, very sad situations and not totally unexpected, but it's a dent on democracy, particularly after 20 years of democracy. I think our democracy should have actually evolved beyond what it is. And I think the issue of violence has been a consistent decimal in Kogi State election.
This, like we've said, is highly condemnable and has potential to undermine the integrity of these elections.
The deployment of about 31,000 security operatives was meant to address the issue of violence and crisis associated with elections in Nigeria. But how well have this impacted the system? Ihotu Odo, AIT News, Lokoja.